会話次第じゃひっくり返されるだろうから、被害者の会の代表はそれはもう少年のひん曲がった悪魔でないと。
More ruthless than you?
それあんたのことだと思うんだけど、
Yeah.
違うの？
Yeah.
いえいえ、こういうのは社会的立場のある大人じゃないと務まりません。安心してくまり、ぴったりのやつを知ってるから。
Do you?
Old man baking company dude?
Yeah, is it Old Man Banking Company?
Yeah, Mr. Banks.
ま、詐欺師には詐欺師ってね。この町には人を言いまかすのだけが仕事のやつって言っちゃったりするのよ。今日もやることなくて暇してるだろうし、たまには働いてもらわないと。彼女にかかっちゃサラ金だろうが教祖だろうが、1時間で精神崩壊。裸足で山に逃げ込むわ。
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, get the church involved.
Aoko kept the phone receiver at her ear as she delivered these cutting remarks. The ringing tone had long since gone silent.
もしもし。
Oh.
まさかとは思いますが、今の話は私のことでしょうか。青子さん。
An eloquent woman's voice could be heard from the phone's earpiece. Aoko innocently said her greetings and smiled like a hunter who had just gotten their prey to take the bait.
Huh. Yeah.
常々思っていまし
If
た
it isn't,
The nun lady. I forgot her name.
Suika? Something like that? I think it ended in Ika.
Could be.
Farika's...
Sister
あ
something
なたに
or
は
other.
年長者への敬意が足りていないようですね。青子さん。
Oh, you're still here.
Yeah. Kinomi actually stuck around.
Tobimaru and Kinomi had returned from their tasks and stood there wide-eyed. The person Aoko had invited to the cafe looked so out of place that it was a shock to everyone.
はーい、ゆいかさん。
Yuika.
わざわざ
Yuika.
来てもらって助かるわ。
Nice.
I was so close. It was one letter off. God damn it.
事情は電話で説明したけど、もう少し詳しく説明する？結構です。本物の光のことは先ほどリツカから報告を受けましたから。
Oh, is this where they went
あなた
before
に享受していただく
they
事
got
柄
hired
は
to go to
一つもあり
Antarctica?
ません。
Actually, wait, this was the
This is
80s.
the 80s. This is like Ritsuka's dad
Yeah.
or
Huh.
something.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, then again, I guess Ritsuka's not the family name, so...
Yeah, that's true.
ありゃま、ご機嫌斜め。よかった。そのテンションのまんま勝ち込みお願いね。一般人の一人や二人、ゆいかさんが本性を出せば、睨むだけでそっとさせられるでしょ？
And again, have we ever had a solid confirmation as to what Ritsuka's actual age is? Like, has it ever been stated? I know they've said numerous times that they're not old enough to drink.
I think they are, but they choose not to at this point. In Japan, not the English script yet. I believe Ritsuka and Mosh did cross that point, though. Because it's been several years since the game started. I want to say they were 16 at the start. I don't know if that's confirmed.
It would have been 2015, so...
And I believe 4 years of time have passed, even by the game standard. Ignoring seasonal events.
Right.
Like, just the main story, I think Mosh is officially 20 now.
Oh man, that's weird.
I know, right?
That's weird to think about.
Eh? そうなの？このお姉さん、間教会のシスターさんだよね。俺密かに憧れてたんですけど。
Look up to her or look at her?
She can't tell the difference. She's blind. In any case, I'm turned on by nuns, is what I'm saying.
いや、そんな場合じゃねえ。どうも、木南浩介っす。青崎さんとはあんまり仲良くありません。
That's not gonna help you, bro.
Hey, Tobimaru, she's probably older than you. Are you also into this nun?
Yeah, she might be his type.
Kinomi was clearly trying to earn points by showing that he also was not that friendly with Aoko. Sister Yuika gave him an angelic smile back.
これはご丁寧に。間教会で装飾を務める須瀬ゆいかです。はじめまして、大介さん。
やーすんげえ、本当にシスターだよシスター。会長とんでもない隠し玉連れてきたな。あれでもゆいかさんに何してもらうの？いや俺はいてくれるだけで嬉しいけど。
まあ大体想像できるが。
Um,
はじめまして、シスターユイカ。三崎高校生徒会副会長、
yes.
築地飛び丸
Respected
で
by
す。
respected adult within the community. Harsh negotiator, huh?
Tobimaru didn't look so well. Perhaps he'd figured out where this course of events was headed. The JLS label was indeed illegal. This discovery made Aoko realize how they could get the victims' money back and run the Light of Truth out of town completely. Sister Yuika was her solution.
て
Okay.
っきり証拠に物を言わせて、訴えられたくなければ示談で済ませろ、全額返して出ていけって話かと思ったが、
Well, you know.
恐ろしい女だぜ。追い出すだけじゃなくスカンピンにして放り出そうって腹か。
Might as well.
I guess so.
は？なんでそうなるの？何？美人なだけじゃなくシスターさんってそんな権利持ってるの？
シスターさんがじゃなくてユイカさんの人間力と言うべきね。はい、これ被害者の会からの連名書。一応うちの応援団の先輩たちも待機してるけど、何人か連れていく？そうですね。逆上して手を挙げられては後片付けが面倒ですので、抑止力として5人ほど。
Okay, and those 5 are going to be myself, the kid with the slick back hair, and that's it. Aoko, you stay here.
Does she
You're
mean
too violent.
5 pain? Let's see.
あとは青子さんが同行してくれるのでしたら、
Okay, never mind.
私と
Aoko
し
is
ては不
allowed.
満はありません。
え？どういうこと？もしかしてシスターさんが話つけに行くの？会長のがよくね？
いいのいいの。ユイカさんはこう見えて荒事の専門家なんだから。ねえ、ユイカさん。
You see, she used to be in the JDF, and she did hostage negotiations.
Yeah. Huh.
Her
Aoko
first rule is never negotiate with terrorists.
I guess. Aoko's in a
あ
really
な
good
たほ
mood
どでは
today.
ありませんが。
I mean, she called the church.
Yeah.
She seems to hate the church.
I know. She really just wants to use them against these guys, though.
いいでしょう。今回は利益が一致します。あの事務所の方々が違法を働いているのは事実ですから。罪には罰を、善良な人々を、特に私たちの同胞を苦しめた手合いには、さすが泣く子も黙る鬼のシスター。期待してるわ。昔から商売敵を潰
Because
すの
they're
は
a
得意なも
rival,
のね。
they're pretending to be a religion. Crushing the
言
competition.
われる
Huh?
までもありません。一つの土地に二つの教えがあっては迷惑で
There's
す。
no need for other churches in this town, you see.
Why do you think we have no Protestants or Anglicans or Shintoists or anything else in this city?
Yeah.
Everyone here is Catholic. All of them. And if they're not, they fucking will be.
Right.
Though the two continued to antagonize each other,
Yeah.
they entered the office building fighting for the same team, the Catholics.
Yeah. The Catholic Church.
The 5 burly members of the cheer team filed in behind them. They'd left behind a glum Tobimaru and a completely clueless Kinomi.
Well, yeah.
わかんねえ。青崎、あの美人さんに何やらせる気なんだよ。
そりゃお前、口にはできない残虐行為だろ。相手の弱みを握ったら、とこと
Yeah.
ん叩きのめすのが青崎だから
He'll
な。
definitely like twist the knife when she has the chance.
You know, I watched her break a guy's arm and steal his student council position once. That
Yeah.
was supposed to be my presidency, goddammit.
She stole his
違
wallet
法
too, I
販
bet.
売をネタにして契約解除をさせた後に告訴するって流れ。
Yeah.
訴えるのはシスターの役目だな。立場上、学生である青崎よりシスターの方がお題目が立つ。何よりあの教会、たまに嫌な噂を聞くしな。連中、貯めた財産根こそぎ取られるだ
It
け
sounds
で
like they
済む
could be
今
facing jail time if they're selling products with fake Approval
government
stamps.
labels.
Yeah.
You know, I hear some unsavory rumors about that church. They've got a creepy basement that all their enemies end up in and never come out of.
Right. They've had so many children up for adoption, but nobody's ever adopted someone from them.
It's weird. And the people that come for adoptions also go missing.
Yeah.
After taking a few deep breaths, Tobimaru also headed towards the office building.
え天下も事務所に行くの怖くない
行かねえよ、おっかねえ。俺のはちょっと
You're
した
gonna
野
get
暮用だ。
Soujuuro out of the building?
I'm not going. My bank is in there.
てめえも補修に戻れよ。今日の礼はまた改めてくれてやるから。
I'll compensate you for all this later. Shows up and just like drops a packet of instant ramen into his hand. Like,
Yeah.
here you go. Here's your compensation.
Yeah, you really earned it running around today.
バッカ報酬なんてもう終わってるじゃんか気がつけばもうすぐ夕方だぜ夕方楽しかったからいいけどな
Well, at least he had fun with it.
違いない。あっという間の半日だった。
It really like throws me off how close like sometimes how close their outfits are to like the Homer ones.
Ah.
Tobimaru waved goodbye and disappeared into the office building.
Huh?
Especially
Yes.
at like certain angles. Like
Yeah.
that shot they had Kinami at earlier just gave me real Shinji vibes.
Yet he went into the building.
Kinami thought it was strange since Tobimaru had just said he wasn't going in there. No, he said he wasn't going with Aoko in there.
Yeah, he's not going for the negotiations. Oh.
However, he left as well after hearing a noise that sounded like glass breaking on the third floor of the office building. A wise man never courts danger, as they say.
Just run away and pretend you were never there.
The discussion ended without any major issues. The inside of the office was mostly untouched. Only the center line of desks had been pulverized by Sister Yuika. Things had been resolved peacefully without any bloodshed. The office had been conquered in about an hour, and Aoko was now surveying it. A large desk had gone right through the window, flung through the air with a single swing of Sister Yuika's hand.
Damn, she's strong.
The sales staff were shaking in the corner like they'd just seen the devil incarnate. Sister Yuika brought in the five members of the cheer team to seize the office's permits and other important documents.
あれ
Unfortunately, the one thing Aoko was looking for was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
She went to ask the sales staff, still quivering in the corner of the room.
ちょっと3時間ぐらい前ここに人畜無害そうなの来なかった？ビルから出てきてないからまだ中にいると思うんだけど。
Everyone shook their heads no. Nobody had seen a student who fit that description in the office.
Huh.
Aoko was looking even more confused at this point.
でもまあ
She was still happy that she'd done a good deed here today.
Well, as long as she's happy.
Well, I may not have figured out what was up with Soujuuro, but I did stop a crime ring, so
Yay.
bonus points for me. Tobimaru entered the office building and headed straight down the hallway. He glanced at the stairs in front of him as he walked by, passing several tenants and heading towards the emergency exit at the back of the building. Tobimaru knew the geography of 2nd Street well. If his memory served correctly, there were some old one-story houses behind this building that had been around forever. They were old tin-roofed rental houses that stood against the tides of time. Though overshadowed by the recent trend of 2-story apartments, they were still there, alive and kicking. At the back of the office building, there was a river for processing wastewater. Beyond the river and a fence, there were many one-story houses.
Okay.
Next to the building, there was a bridge that crossed over to the other side. It was a shortcut only neighborhood locals would know about.
なるほど。大したショートカットだ。地図なんて当てになんねえな。
Because you have to like go through buildings and some back alleys, I guess.
As Tobimaru walked towards the bridge, he saw a familiar face exit one of the old tin-roof houses. The young man was wearing a coat and was without a doubt Soujuuro Shizuki.
明日もまた来ておくれね。
Oh, selling yourself to old women, are we? Hey! Soujuuro crossed the bridge while the old woman who resided there saw him off.
あれ副会長
He definitely did not call him Tobimaru.
Yeah, Fukaicho, vice president.
ああ、奇遇だな、色男。
The two exchanged glances as they crossed paths on the bridge. Soujuuro looked fairly spent. That was all Tobimaru needed to see. Soujuro's new job was a lot harder than working for any scam artists. They both stopped to talk on the footbridge.
あの辺りに親戚でもいんのか？
いや、いない。一つ手に紹介されて、おばあさんの話し相手をしていただけだ。
For some reason, Soujuuro readily revealed what he had refused to tell Aoko.
そんな気軽に話していいのか？守秘義務とかありそうだが。
いや、秘密にしなくちゃいけない話でもないんだ。ただ、話しちゃいけない気がしただけで。
I just didn't want to tell Aoko.
Yeah.
飛び丸には出てくるところを見られたし、正直、誰かに言いたい気持ちはあった。弱音みたいなものだから。
Listening to old people tell stories for hours and hours.
Leaning on the rail of the footbridge, Tobimaru urged him to go on.
That's a pretty cool shot of the two of them.
It turned out that Soujuro's story was nothing out of the ordinary. I'm trying to figure out what Tobimaru is doing there.
He's just sort of leaning with his hand against the railing. He's looking at Soujuuro, it looks like, while Soujuro's looking out at the water. So, like, it's a side view of Tobimaru, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what I'm having kind of trouble with. I think you're right, but I'm trying to get my brain to like accept that from the silhouette.
All right.
His new part-time job was to be a home helper in that old one-story house.
Oh, just that one?
This resident was a widow who'd been left alone after her son moved off to the city.
はじめはただのお手伝いだったんだけどね。
He spoke with a troubled, slightly regretful smile. Maybe he was ashamed of something he'd done? There was a tinge of darkness behind the wry, tormented smile on his face. Tobimaru found himself surprised at his own thoughts and slapped himself lightly on the cheek. This was his way of punishing himself. He wasn't sure why his imagination was running so wild now.
It's because he likes old women, obviously.
あれか？出て行った息子さんとやらに文句があるのか？介護が必要なおふくろさんを放って、
Yeah.
好き勝手に暮らしてい
Probably
るこ
feels
と
bad
ね。
that he can't do much about that situation.
どうだろう。確かにおかしな話だとは思う。けど、俺はその息子さんを責める気にはなれない。だってそれは。
Soujuuro stopped himself mid-sentence. He didn't think the son hated his mother so much as he did the town. He'd probably just found somewhere better to live and moved away. Soujuuro swallowed those bitter words.
お手伝いの料金は
Well, he moved away too,
初めに全部もらってたんだ。今月だけという話なのに、10万円は高すぎると思う。
He trailed off, muttering that he really didn't need that much money. The old woman had thanked him for his honesty. That was part of Soujuro's appeal, most likely. In a matter of days, the old woman put all her trust into Soujuuro and treated him like her own grandson.
ああ、それは素直に嬉しいんだけど、問題は。
She always saw him off with a smile and asked him to return tomorrow. Every time he left, she gave him a stack of cash in the hope that he wouldn't forget her.
あ？それだけで大金もらってたのか？
うん。お孫さんの代わりをしてほしいと言われた。あなたは信じられるから、これで孫のように振る舞ってくれって。
But wouldn't that just mean not coming to see her because that's what her grandson does?
Oh no, her son.
なんだそりゃ。
She might have a
少しも
grandson for
信
all
じ
she
てねえよ
knows.
それ。
Grandson for
金で動く
hire.
孫が
Well,
いるか？
yeah.
そりゃヘルパーと変わらね
いや、おばあさんはヘルパーさんにはお金は払わないと言った。信頼できないから。あのおばあさんが信じられるのはお金だけなんだ。
She seemed to have some quirks about her, probably because she'd been living alone for so long. By this point, she'd lost all faith in the goodwill of humankind. To her, the bonds of a family were nothing but fantasy. After being cast aside by her own family for so many years, the only thing that remained faithful to her was the money she'd saved. Over time, this led to her developing a strange complex. For her, the money she'd scrimped and saved, the last thing she could rely on, was the only way she could conceive of keeping someone in her life.
Yeah.
バカらしい。それって結局金で雇った他人じゃねえか。
Yeah.
孫の代わりとは言えねえな。
それはおばあさんが誰よりも分かってるよ。でも偽物だと分かっていてもそれぐらいしか信じられるものはなかったんだ。
Except money. She can trust money.
おばあさんにとって家に寄りつかなくなったお孫さんは今一番欲しいものだから、その代償として彼女が一番信用できるものを真心として渡してくれたんだ。
A contract with the literal devil? She wasn't buying him, though.
Just sort of.
She just trusted Soujuuro from the bottom of her heart and was thanking him the only way she knew how. She didn't realize how that looked from other people's perspectives.
また厄介な事情に首突っ込んだもんだ。
Yeah. That's gonna be a tricky one.
あんまり深く思い詰めるな。いい話じゃねえか。命より金が大事だったばあさんが、今になって思い出の方に
That's a
転
good way
ん
to
だわ
look
けだ
at。it.
まっとうな話だよ。
Anyway, she'll want to get married soon, so, you know.
そうかな。そうだといいけど。
It was obvious from Soujuro's expression that all this still weighed heavily on him. Oh, this is fucked up.
What?
This is fucked up.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
So, this poor old woman is, like, treating this kid as a substitute grandson.
Right.
And when Aoko and Alice are done,
Yeah.
they're gonna wipe his brain, and he's not going to remember the old woman, and she's
Probably
going to
not.
get abandoned again.
Possibly. I don't know if they'll wipe all
Oh.
memories of the period, but
They said everything after the park.
I wasn't sure if it was like it's-
From
yeah.
the park onwards, he was gonna forget everything.
Well, yeah, we'll see how.
That's fucked up.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
なんだよ。煮え切らねえな。どうせお前さんのことだ。もらった金は一銭も使ってねえんだろ。
I mean, if he returns the money and writes her a nice
Is it an
note
Enki
thanking
Mosoko
her and everything, he
そう
could
なった時に
afford
丸々
he,
返すつもりだか
loses
ら
memories.
青崎にも黙ってたんじゃないのか。
なんで飛び丸がそんなこと知ってるんだ。
まあ、いや、なんとなくそんな気がした。
You might want to try a baking account, buddy.
Yeah. Aoko gets really nervous seeing you walk around with that much money.
Tobimaru decided it was best not to tell Soujuuro about all the trouble they went through for him today.
Yeah.
He knew Aoko would only make him regret it later if he did.
そっか。でもこの話の一番難しいところはね、飛び丸。その人にはお孫さんはいなかったんだ。
Yeah.
は？
Her son didn't actually have any grandchildren, huh?
After a few, well, those would be great grandchildren to her if her son had had grandchildren.
Oh, yeah, sorry, if her son didn't have any children then.
After a few moments of surprise, Tobimaru let out a sigh. He understood. Being widowed with a son who's moved into the city and grandchildren who never visit,
Or, well, don't exist, I guess.
that was a normal,
Oh.
full, and rich life. Sometimes, however, a person's dreams were all that kept them going. The bottom is limitless. For every tragic life, there's another even more tragic than that.
時々油断すると思うんだ。このみんな幸福そうに見えるのに裏を覗くとそうでもないのはなんでだろうって。なんか街全体に騙されてるみたいだ。
Tobimaru leaned over the railing and looked down at the bustling town below. In the end, Soujuuro's worries stemmed from his feeling lost in the environment. The woman who walked through life alone into old age, Tobimaru's struggle with being antagonized by his entire family, those were both personal matters. Soujuuro's problems stemmed from the nebulous entity of the town itself. For every bit of progress made through modernization, there were also people left in growing misfortune. It didn't matter whether they were unequal in wealth or compassion, it was all the same. The larger a town grows, the harder it becomes for the weak to thrive. For a young man who spent his life in the countryside where everyone helped each other, this was hard to understand.
Soujuuro, お前、この町は好きか?
Yeah, does he?
Do you like this town? I have to say, I love it very much. Are you pulling a clan ad on me? Don't you pull a clan ad on me, I'll cut you.
まだわからない。そういう飛び物は
Fair enough. Still thinking about it.
I mean, that was a better answer than Tomoya's. It was just immediately like, no, I hate this town.
まあ似たようなもんだ。好き嫌いも半々で、たまに何もかもどうでもよくなる時はある。だがまあ、お前さんとは真逆だな。俺はこの町のおかげで、てめえの悩みなんざ無視できる。ここに比べりゃマシだってな。空虚であろうと、この忙しさ、節操のなさは捨てたもんじゃねえってな。
ここに比べたらマシ？
ああ、違うな。マシというよりはありって感じか。バイトしてればたまに思うだろ。街ってのは隙間を作らないように回ってるんだ。欠席にしろ空席にしろ、空きができたらすぐに埋められるようにできている。
Like empty space.
当たり前のようで、こいつはよくできた共同体なんだよ。昨日までは誰でもなかった他人が、明日には必要な隣人になってるかもしれない。昨日まではなかった街角に、新しい建物ができていることもある。
I don't think you're gonna see a new building go up literally overnight. No, that
ま
seems
るで毎
unlikely.
日が切った縫ったの大手術だ。
Who do you think
それ
these
でも
people
うま
are?
く回ってる
Nobunaga?
ことに真剣に感心する。本当に何かの弾みで思うんだよ。俺はてめえだけで生きてるんじゃなくて、どうでもいい誰かのどうでもいい頑張りのおかげでこうして管負けてるんだってな。持ちつ持たれつだ。そういう巡り合わせを成立させているだけでも、どんなバランスなんだって呆れるわけだ。
Just as the mountains are alive, so is the city. Tobimaru didn't seem to like the way that living creature had manifested itself. But even still,
そうか。敬意を払ってるんだな、飛び丸は。
Guess that's one way to look at it.
まあ、照れくさいが、そういうこと。
you know, I haven't slept in over 24 hours. We're going on like 36. Someone who was born and raised in the city, Tobimaru was thankful that complete strangers were able to help each other out.
つうか、お前さんは贅沢すぎる。初めから好きなところに住めるやつなんていねえだろ。生まれる場所は選べねえしな。単純な話、自分が住むって決めたところを好きになるしかねえってことだ。
Oh. You hit him in the back? Yeah.
Yep. Tobimaru gave Soujuuro's back a hard slap. It made Soujuuro straighten up his posture and snap him out of his slump a bit. And then he almost fell over the railing.
Yeah.
でも飛び丸、そこに住むって決めても好きになれなかったらどうするんだ？
どうしても好きになれないやつは違う土地に行けばいい。嫌なら逃げてもいいんだよ。放浪するのも人生だぜ。
Yeah.
Soujuuro was so impressed with Tobimaru's words he couldn't speak. They gave him a new perspective. It wasn't just the words, "Don't be scared to run away from a bad place." What had really left a strong impression was Tobimaru's confidence. Although he'd been born in this town, he spoke freely of abandoning it.
飛び丸から逃げるなんて言葉が出るとは思わなかった。
逃げる先があるなら逃げてもいいだろって話。そり
Okay.
ゃ勝ちとか成功とかそういう言葉に固執するのも悪くはねえさ。富と名声はいいもんだしな。だが俺にはどうも勝ち続けるっていうのは固まるってことに見える。息苦しくてしょうがない。青崎みたいにがんじがらめになっても突き進むパワーもねえしな。心情は軽い方がいいだろうよ。
ん？人生は軽い方がいいのか？
いや、軽いとか手堅いとかそういうんじゃなくて、俺はもっとこ
Adventure,
う
huh?
ロマンあふれるっつうか。
You got an adventure today.
Tobimaru furrowed his brow at his inability to find the proper words. Oops, that's not the correct button. What do you mean cannot take screenshot now?
Oh,
Why the hell not?
again? Wow.
Weird.
Okay. Fortunate.
Actually, you know what? Fuck you, game. Yes, I can. Watch this. Clicky and screenshot. Done. Screw you. OBS can do it. I don't need you. I'll do it myself and have it in a form I can actually use. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Right. Don't take the screenshots on the PS4. Those are hard to access.
Yeah.
Just take them in OBS instead.
When you're recording, yeah.
Durr.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, you gotta remember, the new way I've got all this set up, OBS is technically, or well, the Elgato is technically always running.
Yeah.
So anytime I need to, I can just fire up OBS and take a screenshot.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice change with this new setup. What he wanted was simple.
そうだな。俺はきっと笑える人生が送りたいんだ。
That was how he saw life. Tobimaru tried his best to put into words his thoughts, hoping his friend would find them useful.
漫才師か？
He doesn't get it, man.
Tobimaru's shoulders slumped in disappointment. But even so,
いや、そんなもんか。
you know what?
Why not?
Fuck it, sure. The more he thought about it, the more he realized that Soujuuro wasn't really wrong. There was no end to human desire. The perfect life was an unattainable dream. The only way to really win was to be able to say with your dying breath that you had truly enjoyed living.
たく、青崎の影響かね。考えなしのバクとかっていうの。あいつ、ボニー&クライドとか大好きなんだろうな。
Actually said Bonnie and
Bonnie
Clyde.
and the Clyde.
Oh, okay then.
Tobimaru tiredly scratched his head. It had been 36 hours since he last slept. He never would have said something like this last year, considering how pessimistic he'd been then.
ともかくだ。他人の事情にいちいち落ち込んでるようじゃ日が暮れるぜ。いや、実際もう暮れかけてるけどな。とんだ道草だ。
そうか。引き止めてすまなかった。飛び丸は他に用事が？
俺もおとなしく家に帰るとするか。そっちも日が落ちる前に帰れよ。何をしていたか聞かれたら隠さず事情は説明しとけ。その話、お前が思ってるほどひでえ話じゃねえから。
Yeah.
What have you been doing? I was hired to be someone's grandson. What?
That somehow sounds worse than what I thought you were doing.
Soujuuro frowned and fell silent. What did you think I was doing? Selling illegal quilts? What?
Well, she also thought he was a prostitute for a bit.
He still hadn't come to terms with his arrangement with that old woman yet. If he hadn't gone there in the first place, she might not have felt like anything was missing from her life. That feeling of regret was exactly why he wanted to talk to someone.
お前、残酷なことをしたと思ってんだろ。ばあさんの人生に今からじゃ取り戻せないものを見せつけた。どうかな。
Definitely what he's worried about right now.
おう
Soujuuro was stunned into silence. Tobimaru knew exactly what he regretted.
そりゃ違う。思い上がりだぜ、宗十郎。
You're not that important, man.
いいか、そのばあさんも自分は人生に失敗したなんて思ってんなら、今の自分にできることをさせればいい。幸い金は腐るほどあるんだろ。
Well, she's got some money put away
なら
anyway.
思いっきり人助けをさせてみろ。金で救える不幸なんざ山ほどあるだろ。
Like, you know, the financial situation at your house.
で、ばあさんがどんなもんだと胸を張れたんなら、それは間違いなくいい仕事だ。
You know, like that
少なくとも
story,
俺は
like
気
the
持ちがいい。
Christmas Carol. Teach her to not hoard the wealth, but to use it to make things better around her.
それはおばあさんの苦しみを解決していない。
I thought
Well-
the moral of the Christmas Carol was you break a kid's legs and that makes old people better.
Oh, he already had a bum leg. He didn't break it in the story.
解決できねえ問題は放っておけ。そのばあさんには今他に解決できる問題があるんだから、それでいいじゃねえか。で、悪いけどお金はこれから世のため人のため自分のために使うから返しておくれとなったらば、ばあさんの勝ち。偽物の孫なんざよりよっぽどいい生きがいに目覚めたわけだな。しかしこれで満足したから残りはやっぱりもらっておくれ
Well, yeah.
といえばお前さんの勝ち。ばあさんにとってはやっぱり孫の方がいいってことで、そん時は大手を振って大金持って帰りやがれ。
なるほど。
So I win or I win.
That sounds good, yes.
Soujuuro clapped his hands together. He was finally able to accept these conditions as fair, because there was no way for him to lose.
すまない。ありがとう、飛び丸。
His smile was no longer bitter. He would do whatever he could to help that old woman choose to assist others in need. Tobimaru thought that such unwavering confidence was the sign of true freedom.
気にするな。礼を言うならお互い様だ。じゃあな、宗十郎。休み。
Oh,
His goodbye wasn't the friendliest, but Soujuuro didn't mind. He ran home with a big smile on his face.
what did he say? See you after the break.
Yeah.
Okay.
じゃあな、宗十郎。休み明けにまた学校で。
There were at least two places in that where I definitely would have thought it was over. Tobimaru's smile was a bit less carefree as he left the footbridge. The time was 4:30 in the evening. Night would soon fall over the midwinter landscape. There's more. I kind of thought that would be the end of it.
No, not just yet.
Alright, well, we will pick up with the rest of this next
go.
week then.
ただいま。
You are
今
indeed
夜は
home.
また一段と
Yes.
冷えるね。
Well done.
I feel like we're almost.
So do I, but then again, it could be another
Yeah.
hour yet. Who fucking knows, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, oh man. Plus, I mean, now we just have to deal with Aoko's wrath.
Well, okay. And so after this interlude, we do have that one about the ploy lore.
You mean the three about the ploy lore? The,
thought there
the
were
one
two.
book, but it was like three entries or whatever.
Ah, I thought there were two in there.
It was two or three. It was
Okay.
definitely more than just one. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So probably yeah, a little more, and then we'll get back to the main story.
Yeah.
Been some definitely some interesting interludes with all the stuff they're talking about.
Then Kumari keeps showing up.
Right, yeah, she only exists in the interludes.
So it would seem. at
Well, because
least.
she wasn't in the original story, so
Yeah.
it seems like he didn't add her into the main story sections. As far as we can tell so far.
Did we? Anazawa was also in an interlude, wasn't she? 'Cause
No, I think she was in the main story when Aoko took him to the church.
I thought that was an interlude, though.
I think that was main. I
I
don't
thought that was
remember.
part of like chapter 1.5.
I'm not sure because that's also the only place we saw the nun before
Right.
now. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking about. Was like
Yeah.
when she showed up, I was like, wait, Was the only other time we saw her in an interlude chapter as well?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if the two of them show up in the main plot again. Because obviously we're still in the main story looking for the mage or mages who are trying to take the ley line from Aoko and Alice. So we should be looking for some suspicious people around town.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the most suspicious person we've seen thus far was the pachinko lady that made Soujuuro flip out.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's the big one.
run for his goddamn life
Just a
because
sheer
he
instinct.
assumed it was Aoko.
Or, well, yeah, he assumed it was the person in the park he saw kill someone.
Right.
He just,
Who?
yeah, ran.
I cannot get over the idea that that's Toko. Like, it's just my brain is like, no, that's Toko. It's clearly Toko.
Yeah, could be.
So, I mean,
But, yeah, it might be a bit before we get back to that plot thread. We'll see.
you know, as you do.
But yeah, next time we'll at least finish up the interludes, hopefully, and then get back to that main mystery.
Yep.
But until then, we'll catch you later.